Yeah, but anyway, guys, so welcome to the Fortune is in the follow-up. And this is in some ways a follow-up to the meeting that we have, the webinar that we have last week. Now, this can be used with any tool that you are using. But let's talk before why follow-up is so important. Now, first, let's review the basics of our system. You have to remember this. This is our system, guys. You are connecting with people. You are presenting at least two people per day using the tools, two or more. The fastest, you want to go really fast, you go more than two per day. Then you follow up, and then you create consultants. Now, here, what we are going to be talking today is about the follow-up, the third one that you see, the follow-up. It's very important. Now, let me show you why follow-up is very important. First, this is important. This I learned this a few years ago when I was attending a generic seminar. They say that more than 90% of the associates who become leaders join after the fifth contact. This is important. See what you're reading here. More than 90% of the associates who become leaders join after the fifth contact. Also, only 5% of the associates follow up. It is no wonder that most of the money is made by the 5%, because most people don't follow up. And if the 5% is following up all the time, that means that the leaders are coming on that group. By the way, when you are part of that 5%, the people that you sponsor, they are going to duplicate you, and they are going to be also part of that 5%. It's why you can grow huge by doing the follow-up. Very important. Now, Jimmy says, and already Tracy said at the beginning, the fortune is in the follow-up. And now let me show you, prove that why this happened. Now, let me see why Jimmy says that. He has three centers right now. He has his first position, his second center, and his third position. Now, the first people that he sponsored that become leaders is what we call today the RGG. Now, interesting, the RGG, he followed up for over 10 times, and today they represent over $5 million per month in volume. Think about that. Do you think it's worthy to follow up more than 5 times? Look at this, over 10 times. Now, that was his first leg. He had to max out. What was the second leg? Well, I don't know if you know George, but this group, including all of you, he called me over 40 times, and there's over $1 million plus per month in volume. Now, if you do the math, you know that Jimmy is maxed out. Now, what happened to his second center? He sponsored what people known as the Montana Housewife. This group also is putting over, by the way, took 3 years. He called for 3 years. I don't know how many times. That's why I have only the time. But this place is also sending over 300,000 plus per month. By the way, doing the math, he maxed out that center too. And then what happened with the new center? I don't remember the person that he sponsored there, but he already is putting thousands of dollars per month. That means that he's adding a lot of cycles. Now, when you look at this, do you think there is some to follow up? Many people, by the way, when you said, and this is very important, listen to what I said, what I'm going to say. Listen to what I'm going to say. It's really important. Many people say, I run out of war market. Guys, they say that because a person say no at the beginning, but don't you think that the first person, that what is the RGG group today, didn't say no? Well, to tell you what Jimmy told me, the first time this guy was very rude to him. He was saying, you don't know who I am? And he basically got rid of him on the telephone. However, Jimmy called again. And you say, what did he say? Nothing, just giving information. And then the guy started opening up. As, again, he was very rude the first 3 or 4 or 5 times. But eventually he signed up. Myself, I was not rude. I just told him, or told his daughter that he needed a psychiatrist, but I didn't tell him. Anyway, but he called me over 40 times. And I never say the first time maybe. I say no. You see, many times the same with Randall Bird, or what is called the distributorship as the Montana Housewife. The same thing. For 3 years he was saying no. You see, many times we say, oh, we run out of people. Oh, guys, you probably are leaving diamonds there on the table. It's so important that you keep doing follow-up. The person is not going to say yes the first time. Sorry, you believe that. Now, some people say, well, but that takes a lot of time. Okay, let me think. Jimmy, 9 years ago, joined. Now he has earned about over $12 million. Don't you think it's worthwhile, the follow-up? And by the way, these are just a few examples. We can come with many, many examples. By the way, that doesn't mean that you are not going to sign up a leader right away. That can happen because there are exceptions. But the majority of people that you're signing up will be with follow-up. Today, somebody came in the business that has been followed up at least 10, 15, 20, probably over 20 times. And this person may become a super leader. We don't know yet, but this is the kind of person that this individual is. But anyway, let's go to the next one. Follow can be worth millions of dollars. And again, you never stop following up. Tom Schreider or Big Al, actually, it's not Tom Schreider, it's Mark Yarnell. It's a guy that has made millions and millions of dollars. He said this about follow up. How long? When the prospect dies. Okay. That means, guys, don't stop following up because you could be missing an incredible, powerful opportunity if you stop following up. I talked to today, Irene and I, we did a three-way call, and she probably is on the call with a person that the guy knows about isogenics for a long time. I think something like 6 or 7 years. The guy is a really successful man. He had made millions of dollars, and he joined this morning after a follow-up of who knows how long, because again, she knows this guy for 7 years. Now, when to follow up is important after a face-to-face or meeting presentation, after giving a tool, after sending somebody an email with a video presentation online, or any time that you are presenting isogenics. In other words, always, always. Now, we have different scripts, but it's important that you learn the scripts, practice with an associate, better practice with a friend or relative. And let me tell you the way to practice. I don't have it on the slide, but it's really simple. If you're going to practice with a friend or a relative, the best way is to have them through the whole system. In other words, you can send them a video, and we talk about that in past presentations. If you don't know how, make sure you go to the arcade where we are going to see different webinars, and you're going to see one about how to send people to your website. But anyway, you can practice with them, send the video, and tell them there's a practice and follow up, etc. You're going to be surprised. Many times the person is going to be open for business. Now, the follow-up script, the first follow-up script that we have, and by the way, this is something that we are going to repeat even in the other follow-ups in a different way, of course. But anyway, when you call somebody and send the person the information, or you go to a presentation, or you bring a person to a presentation, or you sit down with them in their home with your prospects, or one face-to-face presentation one-on-one in a coffee table. These are the questions that you follow up. Now, this question had a reason, and let me go through those. The first one is, what do you like the most? You don't ask, what do you think? It's a too open of questions. I tell many people, if you are using this script at any time, you're going to have a lot of success. It's interesting because we have people that know about these scripts for many years and still are not using them. And look at the results that you have. And tell me if that could be better. What do you like the most? You want to know what the person like about the presentation. If they're kind of vague, you say, well, tell me a little more. Then you ask a second question, what else do you like? Because you want to reinforce what they told you. Now, the reason you don't say, what do you think, is because if the person didn't like the color of the website, he or she probably is going to say, I didn't like that. And you don't want to start a conversation with something negative. Make sure, again, what do you like the most? What else do you like? The next one is, how much would you like to earn per month, 1 year from now, or et cetera. And the person is going to tell you. He's going to tell you 5,000, 10,000, 3,000 a month, whatever he tells you. And then let them talk. And then, by the way, make sure that you let them talk. Don't go really fast. If you took it really fast, like I do, make sure you slow down when you are doing the follow-up. Make sure that you slow down. Let me repeat, and listen to the person, because the next answer is going to be really important. Why or what do you want to accomplish? In other words, having that money, what would you do? And listen, because that's the real goal. That's the real goal. And let them talk. If it's possible, tell them, okay, tell me more. And then the next question is, how long will it take you to whatever, reach their goal. That's the why doing what you are doing now. The reason is because you want to make sure that the person is confronted with reality. Holy cow, I'm never going to do that. And then that person is going to be in the mood open to more information of, okay, like this one. Do you see how exogenous can help you to reach your goal, your why? The next one, can you see yourself doing what I'm doing? In this case, if you send the person to the website, sending a person to the website. So if it's bringing somebody to your home, bringing a person to your home. In other words, you repeat what you're doing, and then you can add, and I didn't do it here, but you can add, we have systems for everybody, 1, 2, 3 systems. Then do you want to go fast or faster? And that's when you are going to be prepared for the packaging. Now, we are not going to talk about closing today, but I'm going to give you a couple of tips that are going to help you. When you say, do you want to go fast or faster? Most people are going to say faster. Some people are going to say fast. The reason I say fast or faster because you don't want to say fast or slow. You don't want to label anybody that you are going to be slow. Fast or faster is very relative, but either way is fast. And now, the reason I have these two is because you have the packages. You say, well, the fastest way is the blank package. The one that I prefer is the president pack. Fast, really fast. We have the pace setter. That's also a faster pack. And then you can have a third package. Now the reason is I like to have three packages is because a lot of people tend to choose the one in the middle. In this case, the pace setter. However, the president pack is an excellent pack. Now, uh, this and then you ask questions very simple like what is the best credit card that you want to use and things like that that are very simple. But right now we are talking about the follow-up script, very simple. And now you do this with everybody. Now let me give you a tip. If you are new or you don't feel comfortable doing a follow-up, I mean, that's one of the main reasons people have fears of following up. Make sure you follow or use this script or you follow up with your upline. After the person has seen the video, tell the person before they sell the video, you say, I'm going to be calling you with one of my partners. Is make sure that they understand that you're going to be with somebody else. And then when you call back that person, make sure that your upline is the one that is doing the script, is the person that's doing the follow-up. And that's the way that you learn. But if for some reason you cannot find your upline because something happened, and I tell you, sometimes things are going to happen, make sure that you are prepared to use the script. Now, what if somebody says no? Well, we are not going to talk about objections right now because many times say no because of objections. But we are going to be talking, and by the way, you have some places on how to learn about objections, how to get going, or in the Isogenis website. But first of all, you ask for permission to follow up. You ask the person, is it okay if I keep with you in contact? Well, I keep in contact with you. Is it okay if I keep in contact with you? When they say yes, then you will follow up at least once a month. Let me tell you, when you ask for permission, is it okay if I keep in contact with you? You're going to find out that most people, probably around 80 to 90% of the people are going to say yes. This is important because then the person is allowing you to do follow up and you are going to follow up in many ways. Now, remember the question that you asked, what would you do with the money? Make sure you have this you write it down because that's going to be the motivation that you are going to ask the person when you are talking to somebody. And I'm going to tell you in a second. You can use that question, the answer, excuse me, once in a while, not all the time. Now you will follow up with the calls and also using the tools and isogenics. By the way, it's also not as low or something like that. I don't know what I wrote that. You will follow up with calls and also with the tools in isogenics. Now, using your site, your personal site is a powerful tool. You can send once a month a link with the products or videos. You add a note like, this is an interesting story or video. You can also add anything new about you and isogenics. Be brief. And I'm going to go very quick to a site where you're going to see, okay, let me go. Let's say, well, let's come to, okay. Let's go to our website, isogenic site. Now, this is a real site. Um, Let me show you how you can do follow-up. By the way, you can do it in English or Spanish or even Chinese. And the follow-up is very simple. Let's suppose that I say that you follow up once in a while. The most powerful are the videos. And then you click in ISA videos. And then the person probably, if you did what we told you to do before, you send the video enterprising woman, and probably are you toxic? That means that the person may have seen already those two videos. Then as a follow-up, you can use any video. Like for example, you can click here where it says Doctor Story, and then what you do as soon as you see Doctor Story in your website, by the way, this is in ISA videos, then you go to email, enter the email of the person that you want to send the email, and then your email, and then after you write this, then you have a note, hey, and the name of the person, and say, this is a great video with doctors. You see, you don't have to spell perfectly. And that's it. Don't send something long, and then you click send. Or you can send videos about testimonials. Or you can keep, if you're looking at the product, you see you have the 100, 200-pound club. You say, oh, this is amazing. Or what? Or let me show you what the products do for us. So you are talking to an athlete, you click an athlete. Or the Isabel challenge. You are talking to a business person. You can click the Isogenics vision, or you can click the compensation plan. That's the video that Alex was talking about, the new compensation plan. Or if you are talking to people that are Gen Y generation, you can talk the new entrepreneurs. As you see, there are many videos. Once a month, you don't send this like a crazy. You can send all these videos. They see there are a lot of videos. You can also send information of success stories. You can go to the 100 and 200-pound club. You can send a success story, or you can do in products, for example. You can say it's something like, oh, this skincare product is amazing. We have a skincare too. You click in the skincare. And by the way, you can do it with any product. I just put it as an example. And that's it. The same thing. You send an email to the person from you and the notes. And you have to make sure you do it from your website. Because if you don't, here, this is my website. If you're doing using isogenics.com, it's not going to work. You have to have from your website, because if a person decided to buy the product or to sign up, they're going to be sign up into your organization. It's why it's so important that you know your website. And by the way, as you see, this is very powerful. You can do follow-up forever because there is so much information in the Isogenics website. But you do it once a month. The other way is you can send every month you receive an ISA news. The same thing. You can choose the ones that have great stories. You receive actually ISA news twice a month. Every time you receive that information, you choose the one that have a great story and send them to them with a note. Remember, follow-up is very simple. You also call telling a story about yourself. As you see, there are a lot of ways that you can do follow-up once a month. You don't have to be too crazy. Something that I was going to say is interesting that when I was in my first company and in my second company, I used to have about 100 to 150 people that I was following up. And at the time, we didn't have tools like the websites. And what happened, what I was doing, I was preparing a short newsletter or a postcard to at least 100 to 150 people per month. It was more expensive, it was more intensive. And today, with the website that we have, we can send so much information to the people. And it's great. It's very, very subtle, very professional tools. They are going to be seeing more about hygienics, about the product, etc. And always it's important to add a note about yourself or somebody that you know. If you know somebody that has a great story. Now, these important points about follow-up. Be cordial, not a pest. Listen to them. Listen to your prospects. Be subtle. It's why it's so important to use the tools. Introduce them to members of your team. If you think that person could be really good in the business, and it's a person that is kind of open, make sure one day you say, I'm going to call to a friend of mine, just introduce you, and then introduce them to members of your team leaders. It's important that they know that there is a team, a team that they support. Every time you have good news, make sure you share with them. Now, an expert says, this is Big Al, Tom Schreider, a friend of mine, one of the greatest experts right now in network marketing, told me that you can guarantee one sign up for every 10 people you are following up in 1 year or less. In other words, if you are following up people during the whole year, you have basically a 10% of them are going to sign up at the end of 12 months. If you have 100 people on your list, 10 people are going to follow up. And you have 220 people are going to follow up, are going to sign up, excuse me. If you have a thousand, 100 people are going to sign up. By the way, as you see, using the tools is really easy to follow up. And you would be adding people to your organization consistently. Usually, people that you do a long follow up tend to be strong distributors because they already have seen a lot of information. And when they join, they are so convinced that the business is for them that they are going to go crazy. It's why it's not rare that most people, most leaders sign up after the fifth follow up. Most leaders, because they explode the business as soon as because they have seen already enough about isogenics. Now, remember what Jimmy says. The fortune is in the follow up. Remember what happened to him. Look at this. These are real numbers, real story. The fortune is in the follow up, guys. And make sure you invite your people to repeat this seminar because it is to watch this seminar, to repeat it. Make sure that you watch it yourself many times because, again, this is so important. And I don't know, Alex, if you have any other questions, but guys, make sure you repeat this. That's a great thing about today, the tools that we have all this recorded and it's audio visual. Before technology, we could have it in a voicemail recorded on a conference call. But here, the cool thing, guys, technology today, you can see the presentation. It's almost like if we are in your living room. But anyway, Alex, back to you.
Yeah, George, thank you so much for sharing this. And it's like I can attest to the fact that follow up. I was saying it at the beginning of the call. Follow up is absolutely the most important thing. And one of the things that would be very hurtful to somebody is if you just mention isogenics to somebody once or twice, and then at the next convention you see them at the stage getting some recognition, some award, and they're not in your group because you only followed up once or twice and somebody else followed up 5, 10, or more times. So it's
Yeah, and
definitely very
some,
important.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, something that I was going to say about that, and I have seen it already. I've seen people that they talk to a person once or twice, and then they never follow up with the person. Then suddenly that person sign up with somebody else a few months later, and the first person gets upset, say, "Oh no, that's not fair. I was the first person that I talked to that person." But I tell you one thing: if you are not following up, it's not just talking to the person because if you mention isogenics only once, but then the next time that you see that person, don't mention it anymore ever, what happened? That person may sign up with somebody else. There have been very few exceptions, but I would say 90% of the people that I have seen signing up with somebody else is because the original person never, ever follow up. And then the way that the distributor, the new distributor saw it, and the reason is because I talked to a couple of distributors, they 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 didn't feel that the original person was a leader because was not consistent with the business. That's what I heard a couple of times. And that's why it's so important to follow up because if you follow up with posture and you do it right, they're going to see you as a leader. It's why it's so important also that you introduce the people that are in your upline, the people that your partners, because then that way follow up is much more effective.
Yeah. Definitely. And let me see here if we also have Tracy Larson on the line and Adrian. So I don't know if they have any input that they'd like to share with us on follow up.
No, I think George covered it really good. I think that's exactly right. I just follow exactly what he says. I don't want to take any fire away from George. I think he did a great job.
Thank you, Tracy.
Well,
I'd like to say something.
go ahead. Go
Hello?
ahead, Adrian. Adrian, go ahead.
Okay. I was just going to say that I think that follow up, of course, it's the most important thing, but just like Tracy said, just do what he says. Just do what's on there. Just follow it to a T, and it works. And so that's what's, I think, created most of our success so far, is just following those basic follow-up principles. Follow, the follow-up, I guess, is what I would say. So anyways, great job. Thanks.
Absolutely. Well, then, George, if there's nothing more, let's just bring this to an end. But I wanted to thank you and also every one of you that has attended the webinar. Make sure to go tomorrow to the howtogetgoing.com site so that you can see the recorded version, and make sure everyone on your team knows about this. So, George, thank you and have a great evening, everyone. And we'll see you hopefully next Monday at the next webinar.